Wayne County, Hatton, and we have the jails issue, we have the pay scale to hire qualified people to the jobs we have open. We're not comparative. We cut the pay, we shrink the benefit, and that created a problem. So, but we have 15 commissioners and the administration hopefully working together. We will find solutions to all those problems. I just got the notice. I have less than 1 minute left, but at least if you have any questions in those areas, we have 4 commissioners who really, some of them been there for a while. You could tell from the color of their hair. So they will answer those questions. It is a great honor to be invited by the chamber here today, and I hope you get all your questions answered today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hattis. Next, we have Commissioner Ray Basham, who will be joining us at the podium. Commissioner Basham.
When he was talking about hair, I thought he was talking about heirlooms, not color of hair. And first of all, thanks, Ron and Southern Wayne Chamber for hosting. I've seen a friend of mine sneak in over here, and he don't have as much hair as I have. That's Kevin McNamara for Sumter Township Supervisor. But what he's got looks very good. Anyway, I represent the 14th Commission District, which is Brownstown, Flat Rock, Rockwood, Taylor, and Woodhaven. I'm privileged to be the chair of the Audit Committee. And the Audit Committee, we've actually had a little success in the last 4 years. We've had 100% compliance and found close to $6 million in efficiencies. And what does that mean? I was hoping that that money would be used to go toward wages and health care. And it's a shame that the Wayne County actually had to hire retirees to come back and put the snow plows on the snow trucks. I mean, that's the condition of what's going on in Wayne County. And we have the revenue actually coming in, even though we're 37% less than we were 6 years ago from the state of Michigan. And the state of Michigan is actually choking the cities and counties across the state. And it's very, very difficult to provide services and a living wage to folks that want to come to work and actually raise a family. It's difficult on some of the wages that's happening. And we are hiring. One of the things that we do in Wayne County is fix potholes and those sorts of things. And if you have a phone, a smartphone, could you raise your hand? Ooh. There is a free application. It's called WayneCountyCompass.com. And that free app, you can report a pothole with your phone. And actually, it'll give you a number, and it puts it on a list to fix potholes in Wayne County. And so I would encourage everybody to promote that Wayne County Compass so that they can report potholes. We do a lot of stuff in Wayne County, and a lot of people aren't aware of it. Wayne County even does the food service inspections in restaurants. We have the coroner. We actually have a register of deeds. We have the Wayne County Treasurer's Office that collects taxes and pays them out to the cities every year so that the cities don't go bankrupt every year. We actually bond for about $200 million to keep the cities afloat. There's a lot of things that the county does. They do drains. And I sit on a number of committees, which is really interesting. I sit on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. I again sit on Public Services, and privileged to be the chair of audit. Actually, I was presented an official life-size skunk for being the skunk at the picnic. I knew that if I chaired that committee, I did my job, a lot of people would be upset, and they are, and we'll continue to work together and to try to have success. Actually, and we wouldn't have success without cooperation from the administration, the Auditor General and her staff, of course, committee members like the skunk in training, Al Haydas. He's the vice chair of audit, and also the other audit committee members. So anyway, we are working together in Wayne County. The county is moving forward, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hey, our next commissioner promised me that we were going to be going out with a big bang. So just a little bit of pressure there, but Commissioner Joe Palomera. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. I don't know about a bang, but we'll give it a whirl. It's always great to come to this event. I've been speaking at a number of these for many, many years, and it's just nice to see so many familiar faces. There's people out here that I bought cars from, bought furniture from, banked with, are neighbors of, my wife works with, I golf with. I've been to some weddings of some people out in the audience, and even a few of you that think that I'm just full of bull. And that's okay, because it takes a wide array of people to make up a great community, and Downriver is as great a community as any I've ever encountered. I chair the Budget Committee, and if you followed Wayne County finances over the last several years, in many respects it's been likened to Cedar Point West. And unfortunately, we've been stuck on the demon drop for many of those years, but I'd like to think that right now we're on the blue streak to fiscal recovery, and we're headed in the right direction. 10 years ago, we were collecting about $370 million in county property taxes, which is about 80% of our general fund budget. That dipped to a low of about $260 million, which is about a third less about 5 years ago. That number has ticked back up to we're collecting now a little over $300 million on about a $380 million general fund budget, which translates to about a $1.5 billion overall budget when you consider our federal and state funding. A few years ago, we had a structural deficit of $52 million a year and an accumulated deficit of $150 million. What were we going to do? Well, when the county executive said we are in a financial emergency and went to the state, we were given three choices. We could choose going under bankruptcy, an emergency manager, or do a consent agreement with the state. And fortunately, a majority of us, an overwhelming majority of us, chose the consent agreement because I didn't want to put it in an emergency manager's hands or to go into bankruptcy because you don't know what you're going to get with that. A few years later now, the county's financial picture has improved dramatically. We no longer have a structural deficit. We now have a budget surplus accumulated of over $100 million, and we're trending in the right direction. Also, our pension system, which a few years ago was funded at only 44%, and there's a few Wayne County pensioners out in the crowd, and I know this number interests you greatly. That number is now 59% funded. It's not good enough, but it's getting better, and it's going to continue to get better. There's also another matter, getting off the budget and looking at some news recently about the former McLouth Steel property. You probably read in the newspaper that the county has foreclosed on taxes that have been unpaid for years in the amount of $3.7 million, and that has started the clock ticking on what's going to happen to those hundreds of acres over in Trenton across from Sibley Gardens. The state of Michigan right now is on a 30-day shot clock to see if they want to get it for back due taxes. The likely thing that I believe is going to happen is during the next 30-day period, if the state declines to their right of first refusal, I think the city of Trenton, I'm hoping the city of Trenton will accept and get it for $3.7 million, and then we'll work with Wayne County on what is the best development plan for that project. I think we're kidding ourselves if we think that somebody's going to come in with the millions, and I even hesitate to say how many millions of dollars it's going to take to clean that site up, but I don't foresee that site ever becoming cleaned up and turned into a park. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people would like to see that happen, but there's much too much, millions of dollars that it would take to, and I think the city is looking for, especially since Detroit Edison is going to be leaving, the city of Trenton is looking to stabilize their tax base. Also, I want to thank the Downriver community for voting overwhelmingly to support the Parks millage last year. Over 76% of the people voted to continue that .25 mil, which translates to about $13 a year on a home valued at $100,000. And also, for the first time, we put in the language that 15% of those funds, which those funds total about $10 million a year in taxes collected, so about $1.5 million will go back into local parks, which I supported and has benefited every park. Not every park, but have benefited every district, and every commissioner has been able to work with their local communities to supplement your parks funding. So thanks again for having me today, and I too look forward to your questions. There you go, Ryan.
Wonderful presentations from our commissioners, and we've just begun. If you have not turned in your question card, please do so. Rich and Jim, and I believe Mary they're walking around and collecting those at this time. As we, just to give you a moment and an opportunity to fill out your card, I just want to mention a couple of upcoming events. And I have to tell you, if you haven't been watching us and keeping an eye on what's happening at the Chamber, we've really been rocking and rolling. There's a lot of new things happening, a lot of very exciting things happening, new programs and events, and we're just very excited to be a part of everything going on in Downriver. And I just want to tell you about a couple of them coming up. So now is the time to get your pen and your piece of paper out. Make sure you take a couple of notes. Also, if you'll see, each table has those little tabletop signs with upcoming events, a lot of excitement happening. But actually this week, April 27th, is our after business hours, and it's going to be taking place here at Crystal Gardens. And if you haven't been to an after business hours, it's a lot of fun, great networking opportunity, but a lot of people are excited about the open beer and wine bar that's going to be happening and the free food. So please plan to join us this Thursday. And for all of our events, you can register on our website, swcrc.com. But that event specifically begins at 5:30, and just before that at 4:30 is our Board of Directors meeting, and that's open to the membership. Everybody is welcome to join us. In May, we have definitely a very busy month in May. Beginning with May 4th is a multi-Chamber of Commerce event. We're partnering with the Dearborn Chamber, Livonia, Westland, and I believe the Chaldean American Chamber of Commerce as well is going to be joining us. We're doing a multi-chamber morning networking event. So we're expecting over 100 people, May 4th, 8 a.m. at La Fontaine Volkswagen on Telegraph Road in Dearborn. Also, the very next day, May 5th, is the Southern Wayne County Regional Chambers Morning Spark. And that's going to be a great event at 8 a.m. at Advantage One Credit Union. Also, we have on May 19th is our very first business forum. If you've been watching some of the ads over here, you'll see that Bob Fish, the CEO of Bigby Coffee, is going to be joining us for our very first business forum. And if anybody's met Bob Fish, they'll know that the man is absolutely brilliant when it comes to marketing and really building a business from the ground up. And for him to be able to just take the time out to come to Downriver and speak to our membership is really amazing. So please, if you can, join us for our next business forum, May 19th at 11 a.m. Also, May 23rd is our Alive at 5 at Mod Pizza. And then two big events coming up I just want to mention real quick. June 16th is our fantastic golf outing. And you may have seen the ad. We only have 2 foursomes left, and I think that both of those foursomes will be sold by the end of the week. And that will be the first time in over a decade that our chamber has sold out the golf outing. And that tells you just the excitement and the energy in the atmosphere here at the Southern Wayne County Regional Chamber. So we're very excited about that. That's June 16th. And then a revamped grub crawl, we're calling now the Taste of Downriver, is going to be August 15th, which is, we're expecting 700 to 1,000 people with 15 to 20 restaurants in downtown Wyandotte participating. But that's going to be just a big festival. Our restaurant's going to be opening their doors, offering signatures, samples of signature menu items, and we're looking forward to a very fun night on the town in downtown Wyandotte. So registration opens for that event in early May. So that's just a couple of things coming up with the Chamber of Commerce. And I think at this time I'm going to ask our commissioners to join us, if it's more comfortable if you come up here, and then what I'll do is I'll pass the mic around as we ask questions, or you can stay at your seat, whatever's comfortable for you. But we'll just pass the mic around and allow you the opportunity to answer some of these questions. And the first one actually might be a tough question to start with, but it says, it is said that the county balanced the budget on the backs of the employees and retirees. Do you think some of the benefits will be returned to these employees? What are your thoughts on that? We'll start with Commissioner Palomero.
That is by and large a true statement. The biggest sacrifices that were taken were the healthcare settlement, that there was a retiree lawsuit, Hugh McDonald versus the County of Wayne and a number of similarly situated Wayne County retirees that settled a lawsuit that drastically reduced their healthcare benefit. So, is that going to get flipped and all of a sudden the county get a lot more generous in retiree health care? I don't see that in the cards. But the question as posed is absolutely the case. Most of the county's budget is to pay people. And the only way you can get a deficit in control is to not spend any more than you're taking in. And that started with bringing those health care and salary costs in line. No one wants to touch that.
I'll touch it. We were sitting on $140 million when we asked for the consent agreement and got it. The
that is left up to the executive. Once the union ratifies what they negotiate, then we get to vote on that contract. So if we say no, well, the union membership already ratified it. Do we send them back to the table? They did their own negotiations. And then, so don't get mad at me, please. But that's the way it is. So in order for them to get paid at all through those contracts, we commissioners have to vote yes, because we approve the money for those contracts. So it is very, very complicated, and so the commissioners usually get a bad rap on that, because quite frankly, all the work has to be done behind the closed doors, negotiating the best that they can for their membership. And so those of you who are not in union leadership, again, don't get mad at me if you are, you have to do the best you can at the table. And but like I said, the executive held the hammer over the unions a few years ago. So I'm hoping as they renegotiate the new contract, that the leadership will hold out a little bit longer and get maybe a little bit more to move the scale up to better wages. Thank you.
I will be very short with this one because the county had some problems providing sometimes certain service or issue in timely manner because we lost so many good experienced people. We lost wealth of knowledge and people who know how to do their job because they find better the pay scale in the private sector. So the answer to the question, are we going to enhance the pay? I don't think we have a choice. If we want people to run the services in certain area in the county, we need to hire qualified people. And to be able to hire qualified people, we have to pay them the market rate, whatever it's going higher, way higher than what we pay now. Because if we keep hiring people that don't have the experience and the knowledge how to do the job, in the end it costs us more. So, and I hope the administration and the commission would work together to see how can we bring very qualified people to Wayne County. Thank you.
This next question should be a lot easier to answer and not as of a hot topic, but a lot of residents and even business owners might not fully understand what the Wayne County Commission is. What is a county commission and what do commissioners do? Well, this question says, how much time do county commissioners spend in their district, and what is the best way for residents and businesses to connect with their commissioners?
Nice question. Every time it floods in my district, I have somebody that does full-time constituent work, but they not only call me about the Wayne County issues, and there's a lot of them, they also call me about state issues or federal issues because they know me. And quite frankly, you have to ask yourself, who downtown, I'll even drive you downtown and spend a day with county commissioners and see what we do, especially young people. When I was in the State House, I picked the students up at high school once a month from each of the 3 high schools, and I'd drive them to Lansing, I'd buy them lunch, I'd allow them to attend every meeting I was in, I'd drive them home back to the schools, and their parents would pick them up. And some of those people I'm in contact with today, and that was close to 20 years ago. And some of them have gotten involved in government, and some of them are doing extremely well. So, you know, if you want a good government, then get involved. Don't blame other people. Don't blame this politics or that politics. You need to work across the aisle. But get yourself involved, and you'll see how government works and how to respond and how to get things done. Thank you.
You can, for me, you can go on waynecounty.com, you can get my phone number out there and my email. I have a smartphone, so I will answer my email sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning. If you call my office, I will probably return the phone call from my cell phone. So those constituents who are, and I have a lot of very smart constituents, they'll mark my cell phone down and they call me directly after that. So, you can leave a message either through email or you can, call my office and I will call you back. I usually try to call you back within 24 hours. How much time I spend in the district? Quite a bit. When we're not in sessions, when we're not doing county business, voting on committee items, then I usually spend my time in my district. Sometimes I'll pop up at Clark Park, for example, and see if kids play in and find out how you guys all doing. Sometimes I'm crazy enough just to go down somebody's side street and pull up in the driveway and say, oh, I really love the way you keep your house up. I mean, we do things that people normally wouldn't even think about. I mean, we're all regular citizens just like you are. And we do the neighborly things after. But we attend meetings like today. We have a lot of community events and we're all invited to it. And sometimes having 3 cities to represent, I have to have staff go to some and then I go to some. So we do answer our mails regularly and sometimes, some people even text. And I'll tell you a true story. I got a text one night, it was like 10 o'clock and I just didn't want to text back. So I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm texting back. Sorry I didn't text you last night, but text me back when you get this, or just give me a call. About 3:30 I get a call. I didn't know if you meant it now or after your office hours, so I called now. So I learned not to text anymore in the middle of the night because it goes ding, ding, ding. So, but that is true. So that's how accessible most of us are.
Thank you. The county has 2 branches of government. There is the vice president, the commissioner, and the administration. And the administration oversees the operation of every department, public works, the sheriff, the engineering. But the people elect commissioners, and when they have a problem, really they didn't want to know what is the given lesson on government. They want somebody to fix the problem. And I really took that job from Kevin McNamara, that was in the audience here. I felt I have districts that keep me busy because townships require more services than the city from the county. And if the dirt road has too much dust
in the summertime because of finishing the bus. It's too much